Good evening, guys. It's your favourite Northerner, Northern Nat. And we are back with some Tier 3, just myself tonight. Not a full grid, so I think a few of the admins have had to go in and fill the grid. But sprint race weekend. Love a good sprint weekend. People already in the chat, thank you for the kind words already. How was the evening pint size, Jimmy and Lucas? Good to see you all. I'm looking forward to a clean but hard race. Obviously the stats have been released for the incidents side of things, and Tier 3 is by far the cleanest of the tiers. Are we going to see that again though in Brazil? It's a track that throws up a lot of overtaking opportunities. We've seen in previous races a lot of contact. More importantly, are we going to get a dry race? That's what we do, lads, says Jimmy. If only the rest of us would do it, Jimmy, lad. So wait to see the first cars out of the grid. As we've got Hindsight and Carl. Oh, Carl's gone back to the softs, but Hindsight's going to run a medium. It's a bit risky to run a medium. Oh, we've got a lot of people going mediums now. 5 people straight onto mediums as we've got an Aston leaving the garage first out. Who is it who's come out? Kane, one of the first ones out as always. One of my favourite tracks of this. Rain, is it saying rain? How is it? Now this track can run for high tyre wear, and the rain definitely can mix things up a bit. We saw that in F2, which whoever caused that safety car, I'm still blaming you for me finishing so far down. It says rain in both races. As Curler's just put in the Discord, didn't save the setup. Lucky error. So we're going to see Kane start his flying lap. Technical track is this. Also, welcome, buddy. Very technical track. A lot of braking points you got to get right, and this is the first one up into turn 1. You don't want to be too wide on entry, and you don't want to be too tight. You need the traction as you come down the hill. Already burnt quite a lot of battery coming down the pitch straight. You're going to have to save quite a lot now. Smooth through there. Infamous corner of a certain Bacardi's. He ended up beached on the right, on the left even. Ooh, a little bit of a slide through the long right-hander. We hook around into the tight technical part of this circuit. It's a very fast flowing track. You go from the really fast corners, DRS, and then you go into these slower, tight, hairpin like corners. Then open the throttle back up, flat out through the left-hander into what is technically the final corner. Get the DRS open a few hundred yards down here. He's looking for the toe as well off the Sauber in front. And what is this going to be for a standard lap of 109 flat? So who do we have coming round next? He's not on a flyer, and we've got Claire on a flyer. No. Got Hindsight on one. I think Anderson may also be on a flyer as he's about to cross the line, and he doesn't, puts in a 109.046, only 500ths of a second separating them. So we're starting to see people cross the line. People will want to be just getting one lap, get in, get straight back out. That's looking like the way to go. As James Brown sets a 112. Must have had a bit of a mistake somewhere. See Hindsight now onto this final bit of stretch. Decent amount of battery there as well. It's got DRS open. Drops in Bringing into the 109 zeros almost already. Fantastic. You see Carl move to fourth T-bag with a 110. And Luckman is just starting his lap. Right on board here with Luckman. That's the sort of line you want to take through there. Keep off the curb so you don't get too loose. And get the battery burning down this back straight. This is the ideal place for the battery. Get some speed, heavy on the brakes, down a few gears through the left-handers. Claim the first into the 8s. Marshall with a 8.6. Very, very good lap. We've got a few that's about to cross the line. James Brown now into the 109s. This by Lockman is looking tidy. So now rounding this final corner. Get the power down well. Battery burning, maybe just didn't save enough battery for this final straight. He's going to run out before he gets to the line, but it's looking like a good time. He gets into the 8s, 108.7. Kane dives into the pits. Now I think we're going to see a lot of people coming into the pits now. Everyone will want to be getting on some fresh tyres, but not hindsight. Hindsight's going for one more by the looks of it. He's going to invalidate there, so it'll be time for him to drop into the pits. Which is a shame, because he had a perfect first sector there. This panic tyre is also coming into the pits. It is everyone now diving into the pits. And Carl's going for one more lap on these mediums. See now the majority of the field is only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people out on track. Micah being one of them. And it looked like Carl's going to dive in the pits. He's decided not to. Does improve, but not by much. Riker now about to start a flying lap. His first lap of the session. Of course, we only have a short qualifying for this weekend. Fantastic line through the first corner, hard on the power, get that battery burning. See, for me, he's timed his battery absolutely perfectly. He's going to come off the end of the straight with about 60%. Yep. Ooh, did he just keep it in? He did, he didn't invalidate. I always forget how narrow this bit of track is. It's only just wide enough for 2 cars. Also keeps a tight line round and then opens it up. A lot of times to be lost in games there. So here we go down the fast left-hander downhill, straight back uphill into the braking zone. It's got purple sector 2. He's looking good so far through sector 3. He's got a decent amount of battery. What sort of time are we looking at here? It's going to be fast. It's the fastest lap of the session of an 8.569. A 10th up on Marshall. Ooh, and T-Bag may have cost himself here. He's going to have time to get in and get back around. So get on board with some outlappers now. What has gone on here? Why is Nerf Pack pulled over? Oh, of course, it's filling in. Just a little bit loose there on the exit. That's the issue, taking too much curb on that left hand side into turn 1. Absolutely hurtle down to the left hander. Evening Airways. And for a good race tonight. Brazil always throws up good racing. Also throws in a lot of controversy. That corner is always one I've struggled with. I reckon I lose about 3 tenths through there. Down the fast left again. This is looking like a good lap. Purple sector 2. Are we about to see Lucas fly to the top of the body? And he's got a lot of battery left. He's going to be flying to the line. Already at 200 mile an hour. 205. And he does with an 8.54. 200ths of a second in that. Going to go on board with James Brown. Not as much battery for James here. It's got the power down, is getting a move on. Is he diving in the pits? No, he's not. He's going to cross the line, he's going to go 5th. That's probably going to be his last lap he can get in as well. He needs to get in harvest mode and just get round this track ASAP. Kane goes across the line 1.3 slower this time round. Who have we got on laps currently? Curley crosses the line down in 14th. There we go. How is he with his first flying lap? Gets up to 10th. Who have we got on flyers? Luckman has said that's enough. I think that is going to be it for most people. Pint size maybe? Pint size, time for another lap. That line didn't look optimal through the first couple of corners. Is it going to cost him? No, he's 2.5 tenths up. Oh, and he's invalidated. What a shame. That is such a shame. 2.5 tenths up and gets invalidation. Easy place to actually invalidate your lap there. You try carry a lot more speed than you probably need into that corner, and it just pulls you out wide. I'm going to see a couple of drivers cross the line here. Carl's going to be the first, and it looks like maybe Teabag behind. There goes Carl. Carl doesn't improve. Teabag stays 4th. So we get the final few drivers coming across the line. And Clay gets the fastest lap with an 8.4. Has anyone else got anything to answer that with? It's not looking likely. It's not Paranoid, who's going to just stay down in 16th. Riker is invalidated, and I think that is going to be it, unless Hindsight can pull something out of the bag. Lock up there into the final right-hander. Let's see what this split is going to be. He's up 7 tenths. If he keeps this together, this will be the pole lap. It's the reverse grid for the sprint, the top 10. And that is a fantastic lap, an 8.2. What a lap by Hindsight, and that will see him on pole position for the feature race, starting 10th in the sprint. Seems like a lot of track evo there. Everyone sort of stayed in the 9 flats, and then all of a sudden we're finding 8 tenths of a second. But will these guys have the right setup for the wet? We're expecting rain in both races, as we see here. So we have Hindsight on pole. Alongside him is Clay, Lucas and Riker, Anderson and Marshall, Teabag, James Brown, and Luckman and Howsey make up your top 10. Howsey is going to be starting this sprint race in pole. I'll look forward to this. This is looking like a good lineup for a race. And here we go. It's looking like, is that going to be inters? Is that going to be full wets? I think I'm seeing some wet tyres propped up in the Ferrari garage. They're not inters, they're full wet, I believe. This is going to be interesting. It does look like it is absolutely coming down here. Not very often you see full wets in F1. Obviously no winter tyres in F2. It's either dry or full wet. Just wait now to see what the drivers do. Full wet, says Lucas. Oh dear. That is my worst nightmare, but some people are good in the wets. I don't know how. These cars are dreadful to drive in it. Any sort of application of throttle in a corner and you're just losing it. I've never noticed as well that the McLaren boom arms for the pits are actually navy or like a purple colour. I'm never going to be able to unsee that now. Very colourful garage as well, pit lane we've got this season. The papaya, the red, boring Red Bull, shouldn't really say that, it's my team. Mercedes with that weird fluorescent blue, obviously the British racing green of the Aston. And you've got the kick, the RBs. Waiting a while here for these guys to get going. But Lucas has confirmed full wet. Not sure if it's going to dry up either throughout the duration of the race. We don't get to see that in commentary. Could be something that EA and Codemasters need to look at. So, let's have a look. Ooh, people have gone for the inters. We have Hindsight and Teabag who feel like it's going to dry up enough on that racing line to make these inters work. I'm not too sure. Actually see the tracks the cars make. Never noticed that. Yeah, that is not inters. That surface is covered. See Clay already sideways in formation line. Has to be careful, don't cook those wet tyres too much. This looks like hell, boys. Good luck to you all. Even full traction control doesn't save you in this type of conditions. I hate that noise. I don't know if that's an audio glitch, but the constant locking up squeal. This is... I've got bad feeling. Oh, let's cross up. So, as we'll start lining up on the grid, the front runner's going to be waiting quite a while. You see everyone line up: Lucas, Riker, Anderson, Marshall, Teabag, James Brown, Luckman, Housen, Kane and Pint Size. Oh, they've stopped too far back. Also gets on his mark. Same with Carl, who's stopped too far back. And as Nerf lines up at the back of the grid, we are nearly ready to go. So here we go. 5 red lights come on. And we are racing. Looks like Hindsight has got a decent getaway. Clay's looking to fight back instantly. but he's getting challenged from Lucas. Everyone very tentative down into turn 1. It's looking like everyone's made it through so far as we see a Sauber teabag. Looks like he's been in some sort of issue, and Clay already challenging for this lead. Right up the back of Hindsight. Got to be very, very careful with your braking points in these conditions. As Hindsight runs wide and Clay's going to try to stick it up the inside. No grip, it's going to be tight. Makes it work through that very, very skinny section of the track. Caution in sector 2 as also seems to have gone round. Possible race strategies, the same wet, so it's not going to be drying up enough. As we've seen a side-by-side battle, and looks like the two cars went off track there. They kept it together, they have, just about. We'll stick with that as Clay sideways coming out of the corners. Hindsight still trying to look for any sort of path through Lucas. He's dropped a couple of places already. Looking like everyone relatively unscathed. Of course, there'll be no DRS with this weather. People are going to be cautious of the dirty air as well, and want that grip. So while you're in these conditions, I'm not seeing many people close enough to be challenging at the minute. Carl looking like he could be very close to pint size, but then as they hit the braking zone, you just give that little bit more room. Don't want to be risking running into the back of anyone. So Carl trying to disappear. He's got that 1.1 second lead already. Got the visual glitch there. In Hindsight, probably regretting his choice of intermediates at the minute. I don't see this race coming towards him. We're seeing Marshall all over the back of Riker. We'll just listen to these cars struggle for traction around these corners. Keep low revs because the torque on these cars is massive. We've got looking up the inside of James Brown, thinks better of it. Knows not to just shove a wheel up there. Ooh, as James Brown gets a little bit loose through the fast left-hander. There's a rookie mistake there on the battery. The traction control is still kicking in. And to avoid that, Lucas sets the fastest lap, and he's all of a sudden all over the back of Clay. Clay might have had a moment somewhere. Lucas gets his line all wrong. Clay just manages to open that gap up to half a second again. But Lucas is going to get on the battery. He wants to be closer. Ooh, just shows Clay is there, waiting. Good to see no one's got penalties so far. I was expecting the field to track limits with the state of these conditions. Ooh, and Clay very sideways, and then Lucas says this is how you drift some. Lucas maybe with a warning there. The only thing with wet races, everyone is so cautious that you don't see many overtakes. It's hard to really get the power down to try like a switchback or to go around the outside unless you are very good in these wet conditions. Finding the grip can be awful. See a bit of a snap there from Lucas. He's got a lot of battery and he's going to burn it, chasing down Clay. It's looking like he's going to get close enough. He's going to have to try round the outside, and it looks like he has got that done. Done with plenty of room to spare as well. So Clay now will be looking at the back of that Ferrari, just pushing to try and get past, but drops Hindsight behind. Seems to be just running in sort of race of his own at the minute. 2.5 to the car ahead, 2.5 to the car behind. And as standard after the end of the third lap, let's have a look at the position changes. Biggest gainer is Paranoid, up 5 places from 16th to almost in the points. Can he pump down Carl? He's got a big gap to catch up. Get past the teabag, of course, with a moment up at the first corner. We saw him moving slowly along the outside. Got 8 places here. Teabag, Osso and Curly have all stopped as well. A lot of people will start burning up these tyres soon enough. Starting to see a very, very slight marking on the dry line until you get to the strip. And Lucas has now disappeared up the road. So the front 3 sort of set at the minute as Lucas sets the new fastest lap. We're going to watch Marshall try thump down Riker here. Riker looks to be running maybe a low wing, or he was also draining a lot of battery. See that McLaren has spec its back wheels out a little bit there, and that was a fantastic run off of turn 3 there for Marshall, who's now going to get the battery burning. He's going to end up right alongside Riker, and in the full wet conditions, is this going to be a smart move? Does well, backs out of it, forces Riker wide though. Riker maybe thought he was going to be a bit further alongside. Oh, and Riker runs out wide. Good move by Marshall though, give him the space. He's managed to sneak past him. That's brought Luckman into this now, who's looking at the back of the McLaren. We'll be hoping for a couple more battles ahead. Try to sneak a position where he can. And what a view we've got here from this camera. You can see how close it is in horrible, horrible conditions. Look at them bunch up here. We've got a DRS we're active. This would be a DRS train. And here we go, Luckman. Super, super close. Almost bump drafting. To get the move run. Riker seemed to have some left in the tank. We're seeing now Houser looking up the inside of James Brown, doesn't get it done, so I think it's better if it backs off. Good decision. Good clean racing again, guys. You see this field is very, very, very spread out. Lucas could be looking at lapping Curly and Osso at this rate. Anderson also all over the back of Carl, and Carl is just dropping a little bit off Houser, so he's not going to have the benefit of a slipstream, whereas Anderson is going to try to tuck right up the back of Carl. But the standard of racing here is incredible. For this level of control in these cars in these conditions, we see Anderson there just sort of use the curb to his advantage. It helped pull the car around and get that rotation. See Teabag make a move on Nerf. And there we go, he's got a full battery as Anderson. What's Carl looking like? Also a full battery. Only just started burning it. Probably at the right time as well. It's just enough to defend. That's good racing. We're seeing Nerf all over the back of Riker yet again. Starting to see just trying to throw him off there. He's starting to see a slight dry line, and we're seeing what it's doing. Hindsight is now catching up to Clear, and maybe the Inters are now starting to come alive as we see how much confidence he has on those brakes with a slightly drier line. Inter's working a lot better than the full wets when you're on the dry line, but of course when you're off them, still not going to be clearing enough water to be able to get the traction. A few good battles going on here. We've got Hindsight closing the gap on Clay. We've got Luckman all over the back of Riker, and then everyone within a second of each other, right down to 11th. Hindsight not close enough to be making a move, but he's definitely closed that gap up by a couple of tenths. Ooh, maybe took that a little bit too tight through turn 2. And Paranoid's dived in the pits. Oh, and he's got himself a 10 seconds. That is a shame. He maybe cooked his tyres a little bit too much there. Battle here. There's a look, it says, go on, Housie. He needs some good luck, does Housie. He's a very, very good driver. Sometimes a little bit inconsistent, but his time is definitely coming. Ooh, as we see the Alpine very wide sliding around there. He's just dropped off the back of Housie now. Can Housie use this little bit of space to push up to the back of Luckman, who cannot get past Riker, and go back up to Hindsight, who's still trying to close down Clay as we approach the start of lap 9 it is. Yeah, start of lap 9, so 4 racing laps left. You see how much closer he is now. Hindsight is well within reach of this second place. A little bit of oversteer there on the exit. Just much more confident on the brakes. Clay looks like he's struggling with those full wet tyres now. Ooh, wrong place to be going for an overtake. That bit of track is far too narrow. Again, I'm not sure how he's not got a penalty there yet. He needs to be careful. I reckon he's probably on his last warning. Marshall will maybe be looking and thinking, I need to get within 3 seconds just in case. You're seeing this dry line start to appear, and there's some wet tyres really cooking. These guys need to be going onto this wet line now. Cool down the tyres. It does work on this game. Ooh, Hindsight was looking for it. That was a bit ambitious, and if anything, he's cost himself there, because that was very, very tight in turn 2. Just dropped off. You can see Luckman still all over the back of Riker. Luckman has a fuel light on. Is it under fuel? Surely not. The only penalty, I was just about to say the only penalty we've had is Paranoid, and Luckman gets the commentator's curse. And now Housie will be looking and thinking, that's an extra place for me. It's up to 6th. Driving very, very well here, he tells it. And that Ferrari of Lucas has absolutely disappeared as Oslo sets the fastest lap, who, by the way, has not had the penalty. This is unprecedented territory. It's looking like Hindsight's maybe got the power this time. He's going to look around the outside of turn 1. Ooh. Give him the room. Now he's got to make turn 2. And Clay will be looking for a switchback, possibly. Right up the back of him still. Yeah, those wet tyres are just cooking way too much. You see the difference of grip as they came out of that corner. And Housie now on the back of Luckman. Luckman goes instantly to the defensive line, realises the job will not be done. So we see Carl as well make light work of James Brown in the background there. And Housie is just anxious to get past Luckman. He doesn't just want to get past because of that penalty. He wants to show that he's earned it. And so far he has. very, very close to the back of those runners, and it's looking like Luckman is right on the back of Riker as well. How's he with his personal best second sector as well there? Ride on board and see if he can burn up a lot of this battery, which he's trying to do. Look like he's just showing Riker is there. Riker's gone very wide there. Luckman will be looking for the switchback. How's he a little bit loose? Luckman burning the battery, he's got his fuel light on, he's going to make it round. Oh, they are very, very loose. These wet tyres must be absolutely dying now. See, couldn't even find traction. Ooh, oh dear, very deep. Luckman is in a nightmare here. But we're going to jump on board with Lucas. He comes round on this final lap, burning the battery, he knows the job is done. And it has been, quite frankly, a dominant race win. 14 seconds he has won that by, but as we go on board with Luckman now. Oh, and there's a bit of contact there, and he's been off the track, and how he moves through. Was that a clean pass? Charles also picks himself up the penalty. Is that Luckman out of battery? Or is that Luckman backing off? That is Luckman out of battery. And he has an unserved penalty. Oh wow. A race to forget for Luckman is that. Unserved penalty, no. Osso got his penalty. Oh dear, Osso. As Paranoid gets an unserved penalty as well. But dominant race win by Lucas. As soon as he got up into that first position, it's uncatchable. But very, very good racing as always from Tier 3. That was only the sprint, and it was just starting to dry up, it looks like. It looked like maybe the Inters had gone a bit of faster tyre. It's still raining, but that you can see the racing line does look a lot drier. So there we have it, that is the end of the sprint races. Sees Lucas take the win. Hindsight and Clay join him on the podium. Marshall, Riker and Howsey making up the rest of the top 6. And we drop down to Carl Anderson, James Brown, Teabag, rounding out the top 10. And then the back runners of Luckman, Kane, Pint Size, Paranoid, Curly, Osso and Nerf at the back, who of course is filling in. But again, a very, very, very good standard of racing. Not too many incidents. A few penalties came towards the end, but not due to driving standards. Ooh, and we're looking like a dry to wet race. Lucas, anybody in the race, can you confirm that is how we're looking? Dry to wet. Well, it's a question of when is this rain gonna come? Are people looking and thinking that rain's coming late, I'm going to run some hards? Oh, of course, it's qualifying. Duh. Keep forgetting it's not like F2 where it's one qualifying dictates the grid. Shows how much I know about sprint race weekends in F1. I only know about F2, of course. Luckman, the first car out on track, as let's see what people are using for tyres. Kane going for the medium, which I think may leave him with no new sets. Is this a full qualifying? Is this Q1, Q2, Q3? Luckman, the first one to start a flying lap. Be happy to see some dry conditions and see the back on that sprint race. Powers down this back straight, keeping right over to that right hand side and then swings it on. Short quali, says Jimmy. Perfect. Also, I thought you were going to do it, buddy. I thought you were going to go penalty free. And then you go and grab a penalty with 2 laps left. The car looks fantastic through that fast right hander. A little bit of battery up the hill there as well. I like that. F1 cars look a lot more planted around the fast left. F2 cars just want to drag you out wide around that corner. As Luckman comes across the line to finish the first flying lap of the session under 8.3. Setting the standard very high. Very, very quickly. Just getting out of the way. We've got Kane about to finish his flying lap. We'll be the next one to cross. So 9.5. Also is about to start. Riker goes across and does an 8.8. Anderson coming across the line on 9.1. Looking like his teammate Hindsight about to cross the line, or he's just starting off. Let's ride on board with Hindsight, who's looked very, very fast around this track. Maybe a little bit too tight there through turn 2. Gets the battery burning early. Purple set to 1, it disappeared very quick. It did look very fast. Still seeing a lot of people in the pits, only 4 cars so far, set a time. Maybe just waiting for that track evo. We see Gainful dropping a 9.5. Looking like an Aston that has just dived in the pits. Probably the Aston of Kane. A Merc as well. See Hindsight now hard on the power. See what he can put in here. This is looking a very good time and puts in at 8.6. Still 3 tenths off the pace of Luckman. Luckman looking very fast. If only he can get that strategy right. Who do we have out on track at the minute? Got Marshall on a flyer as James Brown puts in an 11.2. Must have had a moment somewhere. Surprised to see Lucas using a set of mediums. So we've got changing conditions for the feature race. You see Marshall dropping an 8.8. This track is definitely getting faster. Two cars following very closely behind each other. It looks like Riker with another lap. And then we've got a Haas on its way around. All hindsight as he dives in the pits. Ferrari of Lucas just starting his lap. He's decided to go for a medium tyre. Bit of a strange one to go for a medium, and I believe James Brown has just set a new personal best that's moved him up to 5th on the mediums. Good lap for a medium tyre. Riker done 3 laps on those soft tyres now. And yeah, he's just dived into the pits as we say that. Lucas is looking very, very confident in this car, just flinging it into the corners. Keeps that throttle minimum until you've got the car straighten up. One of the things you've got to do in these cars, you cannot just go full throttle as you're going around the corner. Unless of course it is one of the faster ones, like the long fast left down the hill. And you can get on the battery, straighten the car up well on the battery. You've got a lot of it to burn. DRS open, tuck into that left hand side, keep towards that wall, and goes 3rd fastest with an 8.7. Now Clay, I believe, is on the flyer. He's got a car in front of him as well, that looks to be on a lap. Won't be enjoying the dirty air coming off of that Williams, it looks like. He is not going to be, it looks like potentially be Marshall. Fast approaching. I think it's Curly. Someone needs to be backing out here because it's compromising each other's lap. Clay will not be, he's not stayed too close, which is good. Now he's going to get hard on the power and try get a toe off that car ahead, which could just see him gain an extra 10th or so. Maybe a bit too far back for a toe. Let's have a look. He's going to cross the line and go 3rd fastest. Ooh, and then I'm not sure what happened then. It looked like the Williams just seemed to stamp on the brakes. And Clay needs to be wary now. He's got an Aston coming up right behind him. Does well, gets out of the way. How is he still set a lap? I expected the lap to have been set by him. Burned a lot of battery here as Ken. Curly also on the fast lap. So who is still to run? We still have Carl, Osso, Nerf, Howsey and Pint Size left to run as Carl has started his flying lap. Is it full quality, Lucas? No, I believe not. Jimmy has said it's a short quali. So the lap to beat so far is still looking with that first lap of the session at 8.3. Hindsight has come out on a set of hards. It's looking like. Lucas says, oh dear Lucas. Could do with this yellow flag disappearing so I can see how much time is left. Still looking like there's time, Lucas, to get out there. See Cal now burning the battery, comes to the line, moves up a couple of positions, gets up to 12th. Who have we got out on laps at the minute? Here we go, we've got James Brown. love the way you can just flick the car into that long right-hander and then invalidates that. Has he got away with that? How has he got away with that? And I'm in shock by what I've just seen on a game that is so strict on track limits. We have just seen James Brown completely off the track and gets away with it. Let's see where he ends up with that. He's looking like he's going to be in... He stays in 9th. James, you are so lucky there. See Gainful now on a flying lap. Is he on a flying lap? Oh, he's lost it somewhere. He's completely off the pace. Gonna ride on board with Houser. Looking forward to this, says Claire. Still time to improve your position. Yeah, Claire, get yourself back out there, buddy. Yeah, I know, Jimmy, but I can't understand how you didn't receive an invalidated lap there. Also saying, let's go, Claire. Housey has invalidated, so he's just harvesting battery here. Brown dives in the pits. Gainful also on a flying lap. He's a little bit quicker, not by much. 600ths of a second. He's going to come round and he's 9 seconds slower this lap. So he's had an issue somewhere. I think there's going to be a dive in the pits quickly. No. No, this is strange by Gainful. This is his 3rd lap now. On this same set of soft tyres. Gainful, you are aware that this is not the race, right? And on board with Houser, who is being followed by that Ferrari of Gainful. Maybe just trying to get, I don't know, a bit of wear into the tyres so they're not completely fresh. Makes no sense to me. Maybe he's just looking for the track evo, just laying down some rubber, because it certainly happened in the sprint qualifying. Let's go also keep it clean. But believe me, Clay, when that happens, I think we all might as well retire. Only joking also, but it would be good to see you finish this race with 0 penalties. Looked like you were close to doing it in the sprint races. Houser doesn't improve, unfortunately, there. Gainful finally has decided to pit. Not sure what he was really doing there. Nerf, I believe, is just going around just to set a time on the board, and he has done. Let's get on board with Curly, someone we don't give probably enough screen time to. Such a fast track. That's how I would run that corner. Fling it in, drop a gear midway around. I hate this section of track. That right-hander always... 1 minute it seems really tight, 1 minute it seems to have opened up. Come on to the pit straight here. And what time are we looking at? Curly puts in a 9.3, which you would have thought would be a competitive time, but with this track evo, Sees them stay down in 12th. Teabag hard on the power. Looking a long way off the pace though. Yeah, long way off the pace there. We are running out of time here. 2 minutes left on this qualifying session. And you see James Brown start a flying lap. And Gainful has now, after doing about 400 laps on a set of softs, has now come out on a set of mediums. Maybe Gainful's just getting a feel for the track. Yellow flag in sector 2. I think it's just one of the Ferraris getting out of the way, and James Brown somehow ends up on the left hand side grass. Not sure what happened there, but is he going to back off? He could have backed off, saved his battery, and he'd have been able to go again. I don't think he's going to improve with that mistake. Teabag sticks it in P1 with an 8.1. That is a phenomenal lap. Yeah, and James Brown way off the pace here. Gonna ride on board with Gainful, who has their teammate Lucas in front. So we're going to ride on board with Lucas first. It's 1.5 tenths up at that first sector split. That's going to see him on looking like third. Now the two Saubers are absolutely setting the pace here. Oh, and that is a mega second sector there by Lucas. Nearly 4 tenths up now. Where is he going to finish at the end of this lap? As he's about to cross the line. Puts it into third. What a lap. 4.2. So we're seeing Claire now. We'll be looking to take that right back. Let's see at this first split in sector T, in sector 2, how he's looking. Flings it round. Teabagger said, yep, well, that's me done. Claire in sector 2 is half a second up. This is a very good lap. He could be looking, as Riker has also moved up to second with a 108.2. Claire the one to watch. He's absolutely flying on this lap. It's definitely going to be in the 8s. Where is it? Oh dear. He pulls second. What a lap that is by Claire. And there we see it. Pole position goes to Teabag with a phenomenal lap of 108.1. Clay in second alongside him, and then on the second row of the grid we have Riker and Luckman, Lucas Hindsight, Marshall, Kane, Housley and James Brown round out the top 10. Heading up at the back will be Pint Size, who did not set a lap. Osso as well in 11th. Now Osso, all you need to do is keep your composure. I know there's not much air that high up. Now, are we looking at a wet start? It's going to be a dry start. Can someone in the race let me know the forecast? When is it looking like rain? Just waiting for the cars to decide their strategies here. Personally, if it's going to be raining, I'd have been looking at the hards. Go as long as you can. Don't cook your dry tyres too much. This is the worst bit of being a commentator. You just end up stuck with screens like this where you can't see anything. Be interesting to see the strategies. I think we're going to see a lot of different strategies. Possibly some soft runners. I think we could potentially see all three compounds of the dry tyre here. Also, for the people in the chat, would you like to see more games being streamed other than F1? You know, just a general question. I'm not saying that that will be happening, but if people are interested in more games, do let us know. And as we see here, let's see how it is looking for tyres. No one on the softs. Very, very big mixture. Yeah, 5 on the mediums. I expected Teabag to go mediums. Being at the front, tried to disappear along. So we could possibly see Clay, Riker and Luckman putting the pressure on the Teabag, on Teabag early. I hate that visual glitch where it looks like there's some body parts of the car flying off. And for some reason Teabag and Clay have decided to just absolutely send it on the formation lap. They are going to be sat on the grid losing a lot of tyre temperature, while the people behind them will put in a lot of extra work on those tyres. As the hards notoriously hard to warm up. So, possible strategies, we're looking at a 2-stop most likely, of a hard and then medium, although it's doable for a 1-stop, but you are going to be screaming in agony with those tyres. You see the guys line up on the grid. You look at the difference. Teabag and Clay are going to be sat with those tyres just dropping and dropping and dropping in temperatures. These cars are looking phenomenal on the grid. I love the look of the Ferrari. Seeing quite a big mix as well, as Carl looks like he was sat too far forward and his grid boxing has been reset. So here we go as the 5 lights come on. And we are racing. It's looking like Teabag has got a good start. Clay is alongside, so Clay is going to take the early lead of this race with a good move down the inside into turn 1. Forces Teabag to back off, and Luckman already looking to try and get alongside his teammate as that to back off. Riker is now going to be challenging. And we are seeing a lot of movement already, and Riker sends it up the inside of Luckman. That is a good move. Gets up into that top 3 early. Clay will now be the one looking and going, I have got the faster tyres. I need to be disappearing up the road. So far, some fantastic racing just on the first lap. We've seen a change of the lead. We've seen Luckman drop down out of the top 3. Fast left-hander for the first time. Of course, we will have DRS this time around. we come out of turn 3 on the left-hander, we will be seeing the likes of T-Bag, Riker, Luckman all closing up on the car ahead as Clay sets the fastest first lap. So here we go, DRS activated. How close can T-Bag get? He'll want to hurry up and get out of that dirty air. It overheats the tyres, it causes a lot of wear on a track which is already notorious for high wear. It doesn't quite get it done this time round. You see Anderson has made a move on Kane and got up a position. Gainful as well, also up a position from Carl. Seen a gap open up already from 7th to 8th. Other than that, so far, everyone within DRS of each other, which is to be expected around Brazil. Once you break that DRS, you are long gone. T-Bag now will be looking to try stick a move on Clay, but it's not looking like he's going to be close enough. T-Bag, Riker, then Luckman, all setting the fastest laps. T-Bag with a good line there through turn 2 and turn 3. Still a bit far off Clay, maybe burning a little bit too much power as Riker is now up the back of T-Bag. Oh, he takes a big lunge down on the brakes there. Luckman maybe just giving these guys a bit of breathing space. He doesn't want to cook his tyres too much. If we're expecting rain, you want to be going into that wet time of the race with a bit in the bag on the tyres. And so far, guys, I have to say, incredibly clean racing. This is fantastic to watch. Everyone's super close together, everyone in the same sector, no one dropping back out of the field. Pint size has dropped off by 2 seconds, and of course the main feature of the race, also so far 3 laps down and no penalties. Luckman now is looking to get towards the back on Riker. We're seeing this happen, we're seeing T-Bag close up onto Clay, then back off into Riker. Luckman doing the same as well. This is a phenomenal battle we've got going on, and Riker is now on the back of T-Bag. Can he make anything stick? Has a quick look at the inside, it decides better of it. These guys will be feeling the effects of this dirty air. Their tyres will be overheating like mad. That surface temperature will be skyrocketing. And someone needs to just say, enough's enough. I need to get past the car in front. Some gaps start to appear now as Hindsight's dropped a second off of Lucas. Anderson's a second and a half behind Marshall. Howes is still in that top 10 also. And it really is a case of once you are out of that DRS, it is a nightmare. Damn dry race. Apparently we are looking at rain at some point. Lucas was saying earlier it's wet for sprint on qualies. Clay now looks to have the run on T-Bag, thinks better of it. Tries to sell T-Bag a bit of a dive bomb there, doesn't fall for it. And you see him now right up the back. This fast right-hander must be a nightmare with dirty air. See the car get a little bit loose there on exit. Riker will be looking at this going, you just keep making those little mistakes and I will close right up. Bit of a gap now to Luckman as well. But we've seen how quickly these gaps close down already by these guys. And again, pretty much everyone within the same sector. Nobody's dropping off. No major incidents. This is absolutely phenomenal racing so far. We see Clay now looking and looking, decides against it again. At some point he's going to pull the trigger and he's going to get that move done. See that beautiful silver car, and he's burnt too much battery, he's not got enough. He's going to throw it up the inside now though. Gets the move done. Ooh, we're going to see them side by side, little bit of contact there, but still through in one piece is what we like to see. Now, can Clay disappear? Clay, of course, with the medium tyres, which will start dropping off soon, and the hards will start to look like the quicker tyre. So he needs to make these next couple of laps count and try pull out of that DRS, as Luckman now is all over the back of Riker again. Top 7 separated by about 3 seconds. Here the car's just hurtling past us, and there's a bit of a gap, a couple of second gap down to Anderson. No one looking to really make a move. Everyone knows the situation here. DRS strains, and unless you're getting a phenomenal drive out of the corner or the car in front makes a mistake, there's not much that can be done. As Lucas now looking up the inside of Luckman, seems to have that job done nice and early. And yes, he has. Can he keep it within the racing line? He can, and that's going to shut Luckman out. So let's take a look at the position changes so far. The main one to note is Clay, from second on the grid, now has the lead of this race. Biggest gainer is Anderson, seeing himself from 13th to 9th, while the biggest drop is Kane, who has gone from in the points to out of the points, down in 12th place. So far no one with penalties, and hopefully it stays that way after the stewards meetings, of course. This has been a very, very good clean race, and Lucas is now getting a move on. He's right up the back of Riker. He's going to have this job done, you would think. There's not enough battery, and Riker is just burning a little bit there to go on the defensive. Very, very, very smart from Riker. Mad course is this, Dan. It is. This is a phenomenal race to watch. What a time to be commentating by myself. Normally it can get a little bit sort of just talking about nothing, whereas this there is battles up and down the grids. We see Kane dropping more places down to 14. Curly moves up past pint size to take up 15. We see T-Bag now within 3 tenths. He was 2 tenths, and all of a sudden 3 tenths have just dropped away. The effects of the dirty air. Players are holding on to those medium tyres really well, because they do not last long around this track. It looks like we were a little bit loose there on exit, possibly those rear tyres just cooking up a bit on the surface temps. Again, just looking a little bit gibbling down one click if you see this clip. I'm not sure how I would do that. Apologies, guys. Sorry for that, guys. There we go. We're going to see T-Bag now on the back of Clay. This is looking like it could be the position change again. I'll put my mic a little bit closer as well, Dan. There we go. And T-Bag gets the job done. He's down the inside of Clay, and now Riker will be looking at this saying, please, 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 make a mistake. And Luckman, what has happened to Luckman? He's had an off. He has had a big off. He's down to 11th. What has happened there? Lucas seems to have just dropped off this front three as well. He needs to get back into that DRS zone, or he's going to be saying bye-bye to a podium chance. Unless, of course, the rain is coming. So far it's blue skies though, not looking like it's coming anytime soon. Normally if the rain is coming it starts to just get a little bit darker than this. Maybe we was lied to by Lucas and there is no rain to come. As these guys on the mediums are now diving in for the pits. Lap 10 as Clay picks himself up, a silly penalty 10-second time penalty for Clay there. Speeding into the pit lane, and then it's going to be a race in the pits. Riker gets the tyres on and away he goes. He looks to be a little bit closer to Clay this time round. You see a lot of changes here as Hindsight looks to be trying to get a move on Lucas. Big oh my damn. Could be a massive bottle job, which of course we would know very much about. Always that Lookman. Gainful with a 3-second penalty, and I cannot believe my eyes. We are 10 laps in. Also, in the points, 0 penalties. Keep it clean, also. Now, of course, this isn't an actual battle for the lead. Pit lane here is very slippery, and I found that you need to brake well before the red marker. Yep, 100% noticed that in the F2, because it's so fast coming into the pits, and then you expect a bit of a kink, and oh my word, Lucas, Hindsight just breezed past Lucas there like he wasn't there, like he was stationary. Bit of a train from 2nd down to 6th, who, if they play this well, just need to pull each other along. Pull each other along, don't fight each other too hard, because those guys that have already pitted are on fresh rubber and they will be coming quick. As we see now, these hard runners all on 10-lap old tyres. I was surprised to see Clay and Lookman, Gainful all come in, because those hard tyres, medium. Oh wait, no, yeah, sorry, they were on mediums. Maybe it is going to be a full dry race. Is it going to be an F2 situation, a wet last couple of laps? Someone chuck it in the wall and start a safety car around lap 30. As we see, Lucas now has got a job done on Hindsight, repaying the favour for the previous lap. And Marshall now, as we see, these guys are all very, very close together. Marshall will be looking to get a job done on Hindsight. Doesn't look like he's going to be able to. He's going to try pick up some of the slipstream. Darts left, darts right. Thinks better of it, keeps on the racing line. Hindsight picks himself up a 3-second penalty as well. Ooh, Marshall nearly lost an end plate there. That was very, very close. These guys are super, super close together. This is fantastic racing. One of my favourite camera angles for the commentary is this. Over the shoulder, it just shows how fast these corners come at you and how close you get to the cars ahead. There's Housie also right on the back of this pack. Great driving from him so far. Again, everyone is relatively in the same sort of section of the track. I'm not seeing anyone drop off, and it's brilliant to watch this level of clean racing. It's been noted by the stewards. Tier 3, the cleanest of the tiers so far. And it shows here. Hindsight has decided to pit, get rid of those medium tyres, come out on the hards. Nerf sets the fastest lap so far of 1:11.2. Clay appears to have got past Riker as well. He knows he's got a lot of time to be making up with that 10-second penalty. Full overhead view showing these cars just following each other one by one through the windy sector 2. And then the slowest corner of the track, that right-hander before hurtling down the hill. Foot flat to the floor while just turning left and hoping for the grip. Pint Size picks himself up a 3-place penalty, and we're seeing now people dive into the pits. Teabag, Lucas, Anderson, all pitting. Marshall and Housey reckon they can go a little bit longer on these hard tyres as we've lost James Brown. That seems like a pit and quit. Not sure why. Carl picks himself up a 10-second penalty again, falling victim to that very, very slippy pit lane. Now these guys are all just starting to drop back from each other. We're obviously going to see some changes. It looks like Clay has the net lead of this race. But of course with that 10-second penalty he needs to get a move on up the road. Binned it on the straight, says Jimmy. Oh dear. Rear wing damage. And do we have a safety car? We do. Safety car to change, just change things up a bit. Caught the grass, threw me off. Unlucky buddy. Now, Marshall, Housey and Kane have the perfect opportunity to pit here. This could be phenomenal for these guys, and they are both going to dive into the pits. Housey has decided not to. Oh, Housey, you have missed the opportunity of a lifetime. He has missed a huge, huge opportunity there. He's going to come round and collect the safety car, and before you know it, the rest of the field will have caught up. So we're seeing more people dive in the pits now, people taking it as sort of a free pit stop. Let's see where everyone ends up after this. Even coming out of the pits, we're going to see battles here. Nerfpack picks up a 3-second penalty behind the safety car. That is not fantastic viewing there. And the Ferraris both seem to have got past the end of the pit lane before Osso and Kane join them. You can't help but feel for Housey there. He's missed a prime opportunity to get in, get rid of those hard tyres. He could have just gone for another set of hards for now. Or are they looking and fearing the worst with the weather? Is Housey thinking, if this rain's coming in 5 laps time, which I don't think it will be. A lot of people now on the mediums, those hard tyre runners will be looking in the mirrors and wondering. We are starting to see more clouds roll in as we ride on board with Housey. Less blue sky, starting to look a bit darker. I don't think we're going to see the rain. Is Housey going for a wonder strategy here? Is he thinking, this safety car is going to mean I can just cool these tyres down, get maybe another 5-6 laps out of it and go for a one-stop? You definitely can cool the tyres down because the safety car around this track goes about 10 miles an hour through the slower corners. You look at the state of that. I'm not being funny, but a Mercedes AMG could definitely be taking that corner a lot faster than 60 miles an hour. And it dives on the brakes through here. Or maybe I'm just being a bit too harsh on the safety car, because it was doing 70 through that fast right. But 40 around there, come on, get it sideways. It looks like everyone's sort of caught back up now. Are we going to see safety car? How's he trying one stop, says Matthew Harvey. Apologies if I don't know all your names as well, guys. I'm still getting used to everyone when streaming. So we see safety car in this lap now. You've got to time this restart right. Oh, it's Harvey, of course it is. Got to time this right. I personally would be going a little bit slower than this to start off with. Riker's going to be looking. Oh, and Housey's got the jump on him there. Caught him lacking just as Riker were about to do another wiggle to warm up. Howsey takes off as we see him now hurtling down into turn one by one, single file. No one looking to get a job done apart from Carl, who appears to have got up a place. Can Marshall do 20 laps on hards? Says Harvey. I would think so. The mediums look to be sort of 12 to 13 laps, so 20 laps on a set of hards? Yes, I would say so. And we missed that as Riker has got past Howsey, and Howsey will be struggling big time here. Howsey needs to be diving in. He needs to keep these tyres going for another, you would say another 5 laps at least, as Kane picks up a 3-second penalty. A lot of people now starting to get these penalties, and one of them is still not Osso. I may get Osso into the podium celebrations if he does not get a penalty. Honestly, it'd be fantastic. We see now Riker is disappearing up the road on those 7-lap-old mediums. 1.5 second gap down to Howsey. Howsey will be a sitting duck down these next couple of straights, as we see Teabag and Luckman both trying to make a look on him. Luckman squeezing up the inside. Has to give way to Teabag though. They are still side by side as they come round the long third turn. And Teabag decides just to tuck up in behind. Now this is an insane battle we have got going on. We are 3 wide. And it looks like Anderson decided to back out of that. Smart thinking. You can go 3 wide on the entry. You cannot get 3 wide on the exit. That corner just pulls you out wide to the right hand side. And as everyone just sort of settles back down into the rhythm, how is he dictating that pace behind him as Riker is taking full advantage and disappearing up the road. 2.1 seconds now he is ahead. Of course, if Howsey's only going for a 1-stop, can others make these tyres last? I cannot see the likes of Osso, Carl, Kane, Paranoid, Anderson, Lucas making these tyres last another 18 laps. It is just not going to happen, and Luckman has burned all of his battery to get past Howsey there. Howsey will now be looking at that going, I'm going to take that back down the next straight, and let's see how much battery he's got. He's got more than Luckman. He needs to be burning it now if he's going to get past him. Gets the DRS open and the battery burning. You see the difference in the tyre life now, as Teabag will be looking to make a move, cannot get close enough. Howsey just defending for his life. Needs to keep as many positions as he can, as we see Marshall there forcing his way around the outside. Sticks it up the inside. Teabag drops a position and is now under big pressure from Anderson. Anderson makes the move and Teabag is run off. Oh no. What a nightmare for Teabag. Sees him drop down to the back of the grid. Marshall now getting his elbows out. Gets past Howsey, and oh my word, we are 2 wide around the fast left-hander into this final corner. Howsey now becoming maybe a bit of a liability to himself with those dying tyres. And Riker is just looking at the map going, where are you boys? Howsey down another position to Riker this time, and Riker will be looking ahead at Anderson. Oh, and we're seeing Howsey there trying to stick a nose up the inside. Knows better of it. Does well to back out. Anderson now on the back of Marshall. Closing with the DRS. Marshall shows him round the outside. Fantastic defensive work. This is incredible racing. This mid-pack is just absolutely going for it. And we see Nerf stick it up there past Howsey as well. Howsey's dropping like mad. But if he makes this 1-stop work, it will work fantastically for him. He could be looking at pitting in the next 3 laps, I reckon. I reckon 13 on a set of mediums is doable. Riker, of course, is going to have to pit. There's no way he's doing 26 laps in a set of mediums. Marshall, I think, can probably go to the end of the race on those hard tyres. He will also be looking strong. And then he's looking like he's going to lose the position. He has lost the position there to Anderson. And this is the effect of not having DRS. It is so strong around this track. You've got two really, really strong DRS zones. We can see that now as Marshall is going to be fighting back. He's going to look to... Oh, he looked like he was going to try and throw it up the inside. And we're seeing rain coming down now. Are we going to see a mad dash for the pits? We saw what happened in the F2. This rain comes and it makes it very slippy. It's a slippy circuit as it is. With the added torment of just a few drops of rain, we are going to see people dive into the pits. How quick. We're seeing that Luckman has already closed right up on Riker. That gap down to 1 second now. Is Riker already struggling? It is looking like it. The rain is coming. Is everyone going to dive into the pits all at once? Everyone is struggling for rear end traction there. And we see people throwing it into the pits. And oh, Riker gets himself a penalty. As Dan was talking about, that slippy pit entry. Anderson also with a penalty. Awesome. Oh, awesome. Of course he had to get himself a penalty. Literally everyone, bar a few, have decided to pit. We have Teabag, Claire and Hindsight, who are the only ones who have not pitted. Do they feel they are strong enough to get around the track in these conditions and get those tyres on? This is a mad dash for these guys now. Look how wet and slidey it has become in the space of a lap. Teabag looks like he may still just have a little bit of pace, but look at the gap closing from Riker behind. 8.1. It's going to be quickly down to 8. And there it is, down to 8. 7.8. These guys will be kicking themselves now. But of course Riker picked up that 10-second penalty. Let's take a look at the penalties because there is a few there. Riker, Anderson, both with 10-second penalties. That's going to see Marshall in the P1 spot. He could be taking the top step of this podium. Housie, this has played right into his hands. He made them tyres last. He's going to come out. He's going to be pushing for a podium here, is Housie, with the penalties. This is unbelievable. Riker is already just 2 seconds behind Teabag. What were these guys thinking by staying out that bit longer? It hasn't worked. As they all come diving into the pits now, everyone, absolutely everyone, is going to be on these inters. And look at the state of it. We cannot keep it on the track. We are going to see big changes here in terms of who gets on the podium. And we've got Clay retired. What has happened to Clay? Where is Clay? We have a safety car. Where has Clay dumped it? Looks like the car's disappeared off the track already. Safety car is going to work wonders for those guys in 3rd, 5th and 6th. Of course we're going to have Riker and Anderson going to drop down. And Riker has picked up a drive-through as well. That is going to be Riker's race done with. That will see him to the back of the pack. Speeding under the safety car. Silly error to make. So Anderson and Riker are going to drop down. That's going to see Marshall, Nerf and Lucas in the podiums as it stands. But of course as we get behind the safety car, these guys are going to bunch back up and that top 3 will look very different. As Riker has now dived into the pits, he's going to serve his drive through now. He's looking to come out in a decent spot. As no, he is. What happened, Claire? I saw you DNF'd. He says it's the biggest load of bollocks that he's ever seen. He must be just talking about myself. as we catch the safety car. Riker out of the looking now, unless he puts in a fantastic drive. But I cannot see it. He's of course still got a bit of a penalty left. Taps the pit wall on exit and it teleported me to the apex of turn 1 with no wheel. Oh dear. Unlucky for yourself, Claire, there. Sounds a bit like Cole, Wall of Champions, slight touch, all of a sudden wheels gone. And the DNF. Riker picks himself up another 3 seconds. Harvey says, get Nerf back out of here, the cheater. It's just been a fantastic drive by him. It's one of those things, Claire, buddy. Angry in the moment. We all have them. This track is terrible for little things like that. The weather is just a joke at this track. Like, that was 1 lap. One lap has completely changed it all around. I think we'll probably see the safety car in this time round. And we look at the time differences now. This is my track, and if I can't get a good result here, I'm effed. Clay, don't be hard on yourself, buddy. You showed what you could do last season. Obviously, I know it's a different game, but you are a fast driver. Pick yourself up, you go again. The main thing for me here is that, again, the standard of racing in Tier 3 is incredible. Battles up and down the field, clean racing. From what I've seen anyway, I think there's been a couple of people off the track. I'm not sure what happened, not my place to comment on it. But we will see in the incidents channel later. As it stands, I think we have Housie, as Riker is now retired. I'm not sure that just seemed to stop on the track there. I feel like that may have been more of a I've had enough of this shit. There's a safety car. He's now coming in this lap. Anderson is the one dictating the pace. Marshall is not going to weave too much. He knows that people can just disappear here. Marshall picks up that he's taken off early and he's managed to stay with him. Anderson is going to try fight as much as he can, but he has to remember he does have that 10-second penalty. You see everyone diving down as Lucas makes a move on Nerf Pack already, which Housie will be buzzing about. That will see him into the podium so far. We've got a caution in sector 1, it's quickly green flagged. We're seeing Paranoid and Hindsight fighting each other now. Paranoid with a fantastic drive to get himself up to 8th position, up to 7th again. Hindsight and Paranoid back and forth here of who's going to be where. Marshall hanging on to the back of Anderson. And we're seeing Housie all over the back of Nerf as well. We've got a caution in sector 1 again, but with no one there. I think you will see the no traction guys disappear in the wet. Yeah, I've always said this about traction. It benefits sometimes and it disadvantages sometimes. Yes, through some of the faster corners you can be a little bit quicker with full traction, but out of the slower corners the no traction guys are definitely getting the jump. As we see here, Luckman is going to be looking on Housie. And do I see DRS open? I thought I saw DRS open then, which I was going to be shocked about. Luckman thinks better of that move. Housie defending well, is going to try keep with Nerf, and Lucas is steaming up the inside of Marshall, gets past him. What a move that is. That is a fantastic move by Lucas. And again, you look how close everyone is. Can't overtake because of the yellow. I'm not sure why we are seeing a yellow flag in Sector 1. Appears we may have a glitch here, guys. Which I would not be surprised if we see a few penalties dished out for it, but then also some taken off. As Lucas with an insane move around the outside in the wet of Anderson. This is fantastic driving. Lucas showing his pace here. It's only showing that on your stream. Oh dear. So for everyone else it's just showing green flag racing. See if we can get it to disappear by hiding the UI. Nope. Lucas now looking to disappear. Housie now is looking like he's going to finish in the podium places. Anderson, of course, with that big penalty, which by the looks of it is not going to just go serve it. He's just going to add it onto the end. Also got his... I thought Osso had got a penalty. He hasn't. Oh, Osso has served it. Served it in the pits. Served it in the pits. Ryan saying, let's go Osso. No, he isn't. He's saying, come on, Housie. Which I have to say, I am saying the same. It's been a fantastic drive from him. We've been saying he is a fast driver. He's just a bit inconsistent at time. And so far, he's showing what he can do. So these guys are still running very, very close together in second, third and fourth. Of course, Anderson leading that little group. That 10-second penalty is going to cost him dearly, though. Clay has just posted his footage of his ridiculous incident into the Discord. Teabag making a move on Curly. He'll be looking to try and get back into the points after his mishaps. But this is, again, a good standard of racing. We may have 4 cars out, but I don't think that's a reflection of how clean these races have been. Lucas now has disappeared 2.8 up the road. He's showing that he's a different class here. I think it's fair to say that Lucas probably is deserving of a spot in Tier 2 at the end of this season. I would not be surprised if he takes my place, to be completely honest. Although, of course, then, if I'm in Tier 3, you guys will not get to hear me commentate on a Sunday. Again, we've got a bit of a gap, just from 5th down to 6th. We'll see there that it's 3.7, and Nerfback has dropped right back into that sort of gap, and he runs a little bit wide there as well. It's Housie now all over the back of Anderson. He's looking to get this move done. He doesn't just want to get this podium by penalties, he wants to get it done on track, which is fantastic to see. And Anderson will be kicking himself with that penalty because it's going to see him potentially drop out of the points. I think he might just be safe with that, but you never know. We could potentially see another safety car yet. So a bit of a battle further back. I believe it's Carl and Hindsight staying as they are. Housie is really just keeping it together nicely. Turns out that strategy where I said he should have dived in, it's worked out well for him. Bit deep there, and it will see Luckman gain on him. He's going to drop a bit of time to the car ahead. Control the throttle well. through the long left-hander. You've got to be careful, you can't get the power down too early. Short shifting away. Luckman not close enough, you would think, to be able to get a move done. As we see, Anderson is closing right onto the back of Marshall. Looked like he was just going to throw it up the inside, but there's no way you're breaking that late in the wet. Absolutely no chance at all. And let's see the actual position changes now. It's going to be very, very drastic, and look at that. Anderson is up 10 places, but he's most likely going to lose a lot of them. How's it from 9th to what is looking like a podium place? Of course, Lucas from 5th is looking like he's running away with this win. Marshall as well. These front four have had fantastic drives. Anderson slightly lets his down with the penalty, but again, amazing drive nonetheless. Paranoid and Nerf Pack up 10 places. Amazing, amazing drives. And out of the runners we actually have left, Kane, the biggest loser on in terms of positions, down, dropping out of the normal top 10 points. Of course, we do give more points here in CDR, but dropping down into 12th position. And we see House's one-stop has really, really enabled him to keep with these guys. It worked well. We were all a bit sceptical at first, and the penalties there, you see. Anderson will drop back, Nerf will drop back, as well as Hindsight. We're going to see a lot of changes as this race comes to the end. But Lucas is just in a different sector. He's flying along. Gonna ride on board with Luckman and see what this is looking like, this train of cars. Trying to turn in maybe a little bit too early then. We're just seeing that drier line starting to appear a little bit. These guys will need to get onto that wet line, just cool the tyres down. That's all they need to do. See many position changes actually happening here. Everyone is sort of well spaced out enough where, unless there's a mistake, this will probably be how we finish the race. Have we just seen T-Bag drop out? T-Bag is gone also. I think that may have happened a while ago. I've only just picked up on it. You can see there, Howdy a little bit wide there. Luckman's got fantastic traction around that left-hand corner. People need to be getting onto that wet line, guys. You're going to cook these tyres. Keep them cool. You're going to need them for these final laps. I think it's fair to say Lucas has this one wrapped up. Can see the difference in grip with this drier line approaching. Always is a case in Brazil. It may be raining, but it probably is still a bit warm, so that dry line will start to appear. You can see it in the track. Look at the differences. How's a big mistake there? Gets it sideways. Luckman gives him the room. Doesn't try push him off. He knows he doesn't need to, he knows he's going to gain a position with Anderson anyway. Again, Luckman hard on that DRS. Dips a wheel onto the grass, that will just drop his speed a little bit. And there we go, you see him get onto the wet line to cool those tyres right down. Fantastic battle we've got going on. Lucas in a world of his own, just making sure he doesn't put any feet wrong. Just going along, he knows he's got this wrapped up, and Housey again was looking up that inside, doesn't manage to get it done. Anderson is doing very, very well to defend this. He's looking like he's not going to lose too many positions, still will finish in the top 10 at this rate. forward to speaking to these guys through the on the podium conversations. We are probably just seeing this race simmer down now. Luckerman is not having any of that though. He wants that last spot on the podium. He's got 2 laps to do so. But Housy's just defending well because he's still on the attack. Housy does not want to just sit there and let Anderson drop behind him because of a penalty. He wants to get past him and hope that he then keeps Luckerman behind him. And Housy hard on the ERS now. He's going to look up to try go around the outside. Oh, there's a bit of contact there. And is it going to cost him another position? It isn't. Luckerman stays behind. Housy, I'm sure, will have something to say about that. Elbows out, everyone going for it. All he needs to do is keep his composure. If he keeps his composure, he's got this in the bag. He's been defending well. You look at his battery percentage through the roof compared to Luckman. And oh, bit of contact there, and it sees Luckman go past. Oh no, and that is sad for Housy. That is very sad for Housy. He'd done everything right, and then as we come on to the last lap, he's dropped that place. He will be absolutely kicking himself. Now Luckman is running low on battery. Housy isn't. Will he be looking to get this position straight back? That's a good line he's taken. And he's going to be hard on this battery, you would think, as Nerfpack has retired out of the race. Housy definitely has the speed. He hasn't quite got enough. Oh, a little bit of contact there as well, just a bit later on the brakes. Housy will be looking to try and get this done down the pit straight. He needs to keep close enough. Luckman will be desperately trying to save up some battery. And at the minute, he doesn't have as much as Housy. Coming to this final bit now. About to go through the fast left-hander. He needs to be a lot closer with him. Quickly jump on board with Lucas as he rounds this final lap. I'm keeping an eye on the map to see how close Housy is. Lucas again with another win. And how close is Housy? Is he close enough? He's not going to be close enough, and he's going to just miss out as we see Marshall come across the line. Anderson comes across the line. But of course, he's going to drop down the field. Luckman takes that final position. As Nerfback is in the Discord saying, what the F? Not sure what happened there. He did just seem to DNF out of nowhere. And again, that has been a fantastic race. Despite 6 retirements, it was great to see. And did we just see Osso not get a penalty? Oh no, he served one, didn't he, under the safety car through the pits. So here is your final podium 3. We have Lucas, Marshall and Luckman on the podium. The Scotsman, the Englishman, and I think that is Estonian. Ron Tim says, of course. Not a race without an Osso penalty, you are correct. Only this time it didn't have one at the end of the race. So we'll give him that, guys. As these now celebrate on the podium. Great to see. It was a quality standard of race, a lot of close racing, not too many incidents. And there's your race winner, Lucas. Fastest lap goes to Nerfpack. Driver of the day, Carl. Most overtakes is Luckman, and Marshall got the cleanest driver. And there we go. That is your finishing cars. Lucas, Marshall, Housie, Luckman, Anderson, Hindsight, Carl, Paranoid, Clay, Riker, and Osso make up your top 10. We're going to try get these guys in now. I've just realised I've just kicked a load of people out. So now wait for these guys to come in for the podium celebrations. Probably deserved it, did said Tim. We'll start the conversations while we wait for the other guys. We're joined by Marshall, second place in that feature race. Well done, Marshall. How was it getting used to those changing conditions?
Hey, thanks very much. Good to be speaking to you guys again. So yeah, it was tough on. I think with the strategy at the beginning, it said it was going to rain, but it said you could do the wets on slick still. So I was kind of last minute debate whether I was going to come in for inters or try and stick it out on slicks. I'm glad I come in for inters because it definitely needed inters. But yeah, it's good race.
We saw you making some simple-ish moves, but effective. It was phenomenal drive by you. Do we think there is an issue with Brazil in terms of changing conditions? It seemed to get very slippy very, very quickly.
I mean, issues. It's just a track. It does tend to get wet pretty quick, isn't it? Everyone's got to deal with it, and I think the winner dealt with it the best, both in the sprint and the feature. Absolutely smashed everyone on those inters and wet tyres.
Yeah, I think it's also good to know, it was mentioned by the admins through the week, how well this tier drives. There's very, very little sort of incidents. Again, very clean race, a lot of good overtakes, a lot of close racing. Do you feel it around this track in terms of dirty air and tyre wear?
Tyre wear, I didn't think it was going to be as high as it was. I watched tier 2 on Friday, and Marit's done a one stop and got a podium and got second in the end, which I was like, oh, okay, maybe that's what I'll do. And then obviously the weather changed. But the tyre wear for my first stint, it was pretty heavy. Yeah, first stint wasn't good for me on tyres.
Well, congratulations, buddy. A well-earned second place there.
Thanks very much.
And we move on to the third step of the podium. Luckman.
Hello, mate.
Well done, buddy, on that podium finish. It was looking like it were going to be a fourth position for yourself. And then on the penultimate lap, you make that move stick and manage to keep Housie behind. Obviously, yeah.
I was sort of a bit lucky with that one. Housie kept losing the rear end on one of the corners where I managed to get past him. It looked like it was about to spin out, so obviously I just had to take the gap that I could find. But yeah, it was a interesting race from my point of view.
Yeah, I noticed that myself. Housie seemed to be losing it on that first of the slower right-handers. Looked like you just sort of lined that up, saw it were coming, and then went, right, now is my time, and you pulled the trigger and got past.
Yeah, that's exactly it, mate. Like I say, it looked like he was about to spin. Bobby, 2 seconds, mate.
Yeah, no props.
Yeah, it looked like he was going to spin completely. And that was the only place for me to go, was down the inside and hope for the best, really. But yeah, it It's an interesting race. Obviously, I picked up a 10-second penalty for someone overtaking me during the safety car, so that's something that will go to the steward's room. And then an incident after a few laps in with Lucas, which obviously again will be more than likely heading to the steward's room. But yeah, it was, just to get P3 was a good result for me in the end.
Yeah, very, very good result, especially from where you'd sort of drop back to a bit after with those incidents to recover well in wet condition, which we all know these cars are awful to drive in the wet. But you kept it together well, came back on the podium, so well done, buddy. Well driven.
Appreciate you doing comms, bud, and well done to Marshall and Lucas.
Yeah, no problem at all. Love doing the commentary for you guys in Tier 3. It's always a treat to see this standard of racing. Although it's the lowest of the tiers, it is by no means the least skillful. We see some very close racing, a lot of respectful racing as well. We've seen side by side through some corners you would not expect to be side by side. So once again, guys, thank you for having me commentating. Fantastic race, and I look forward to seeing you next week for Belgium. Thank you very much, guys. Well done to the podium drivers, and we will see you next week.